First, though, let's talk community. Tonight, ABC 6 on Your Side is hosting a phone bank between 5 and 6:30 p.m. It's focused on the breaking of the cycle of family violence. I had the chance to talk to one special woman who now looks for hope where there once was hopelessness. I want you to meet Marika. ABC 6, our sister station, is on your side tonight to take a stand against domestic violence with a Where's the Line phone bank. Today we are talking to someone who has been a victim of domestic violence. Her name is Marika Phipps, and she's here to share her story and try to help others affected by domestic violence. And we want to warn you that some of the pictures you'll see are going to be graphic. So we first welcome a very healthy-looking Marika Phipps.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Marika, I think people would be amazed to know that this person they see who looks so capable, strong, healthy, physically together could have been the victim of something as terrible as what you went through with domestic violence.
We are not what it looks like. You know, domestic violence is something that's so hidden. We don't want people to know, you know, that we have the brokenness that we have inside of us. No one knew.
Amazing that people wouldn't know, but these pictures, these images, they are horrific. And yet, you stayed for a long time, even after this is the second round of battering?
That was the first.
That was the first round.
Shows the
and
first.
You went back, wow.
I did.
Huh, can you explain, I mean, right here, you've even said you stared death in the face.
Yeah, more than once. You know, the first incident that happened, I made excuses for it. You know, I made excuses for him. He had never been physical before. It was 2 years into the relationship before he had ever been, you know, physical. But what I didn't know is that I had been being abused, you know, emotionally and psychologically, and I had no idea that that even existed. I didn't know what abuse was.
Do you remember the trigger that set that off?
No, not really. I mean, we argued and, you know, bickered back and forth all the time.
Right.
And this particular day, I honestly don't remember what it was we were arguing about. I do know I slammed the door shut. You know, I was holding our daughter at the time. She was 18 months. And he, you know, knocked the door in, picked me up by my throat. I dropped my baby, and he threw me against the wall. And then from there, you know, within a matter of minutes, I was laying beaten at the bottom of the steps where he had kicked, you know, those injuries is where he had kicked my head in so many times.
Oh my gosh, Marika.
And I had subdural hemorrhaging after that, so I had bleeding on my brain, and it was pretty serious.
Oh, of course.
It was pretty serious.
Who found you?
My two children, my two girls, were home at the time. So my 18-month-old and my 7-year-old daughter, Lexi. Lexi's my lifesaver. She saved my life. If she hadn't have been there to call my mom, you know, to come and find me that way, I wouldn't be here today.
I mean, you can't help but look at those pictures and go, why, how could you ever go back to that? What was the mindset for that?
I think, you know, not even I think, I know, you know, a lot of victims rationalize the abuse, you know, so I made excuses. You know, he had never done it before. I just thought, well, you know, it's just the first time, not knowing that there would be another time, you know. I wanted to be married. I wanted to raise my kids in a, you know, a two-parent household. So, I mean, I had things that I was willing to sacrifice for my kids.
What were family and friends saying?
You know, they couldn't believe it. They just, my parents, of course, were very upset. You know, my kids were confused because it went against everything that I had taught them. And so everybody was confused. I was confused, to be honest.
Did you feel like you were just in this fog all the time?
I did. I remember my mom telling me at one point, she looked at me and I wasn't there. She's like, I just looked straight through you.
Oh, wow.
You weren't there. And I remember feeling that way. Like I couldn't even, even myself, I couldn't even understand why I took him back. I just knew that I needed him. Almost like a drug. He was, you know, I was addicted to this relationship, so to speak.
But so the second time, again, awful injuries.
Yeah.
And when did the light go on for you?
The light went on for me as I was laying on that floor, you know, fighting for my life. That's when I knew. I mean, I was already out of that relationship.
Right.
We stayed together another 5 years after I took him back. And at some point a light went on, and I just, you know, not that he had been physical anymore, but just the emotional and the psychological was wearing me down. Like
Yeah.
I began to get it. And I ended the relationship. And so we were still living together at the time. He was, you know, in the process of packing his bags and moving out. But I didn't know that a woman is in the most danger at the end of a relationship.
Huh.
I had no idea what danger I was in. And the whole time he's, you know, acting like it's okay. But he was just, I think, bubbling on the inside.
Right.
You know, and it went off.
Huh.
Yeah.
And this time he ended up behind bars.
He did. He is serving a 6-year prison term.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe?
I do right now.
Okay.
Don't know what I'll feel like when he comes home.
Right.
You know, I hope that he's getting the help that he needs, you know, in there. I don't know. I mean, he's currently fighting it now at the Supreme Court level. So I don't know if he's even learning from, you know what I mean? So I don't know if he's learning the lesson or he's so busy trying to get out that he's not taking the time to learn the lesson.
Well, you have taken the time to take care of yourself and to reach out to others. Tell us about your website.
I have. Well, I started a nonprofit organization called Battered, Not Broken, because I was at once, you know, battered, but I knew, for me, my faith is very strong. And so I knew that there was a reason that God saved me not once, but twice, to get through this. And I guess I wanted to help other women, you know, and men as well, because it's not just women.
Right.
But, you know, I think it's every 9 seconds someone is beat, you know, and I was a part of that statistic twice in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And so I just want to try to save other women. I go into schools, I talk in schools and try to educate our youth. You know, I have young girls and a son, and I want to educate. I think that's where we need to start, is, you know, educating our youth and then the parents. And so Battered Not Broken is about providing the prevention as well as the support.
Good.
You know, just kind of helping people through it, because you walk alone, because people don't understand. Outside of your circle, they think you're crazy for taking them back, and why doesn't she just leave? And it's not that easy.
You are surrounded by love, obviously,
Yes,
strong
I am.
family and
I
the
am.
kids, and what you're doing is wonderful. I mean, people
Thank you.
can certainly learn from your experiences, as
you.
horrific as they were, but thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
in fact, Marika, we not only want to thank you, but she is speaking out to help so many others whose lives you know only all too well from her own experience.
Yes.
Her website, again, is batterednotbroken.org. And then tonight, ABC6 on Your Side is hosting that special Where's the Line phone bank. That'll be between 5 and 6:30 p.m. Volunteers from the Center for Family Safety and Healing will be there to take your calls. You can also, of course, go to where'stheline.info to chat. So please reach out and certainly visit the website Marika has as well, so we can get people all the help they need.